Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Okay, I have to get all comfortable and get all situated. I literally just came in from the patio. I've been in the swim out pool. Alex is out there and he's laying out there and he's listening to music. And so I was like I just got back from the gym. We'll talk about all this here in a second. But I just got back from the gym. And then I put on my suit and I got in our little like swim out pool out here. And so Alex had been laying out there and he was like, he had gotten in the pool before like I came out there, and so he was just laying out and stuff. And it's pouring down rain in Mexico right now. I mean, it's like pouring down rain. It's been pouring down rain all day. And so I was like in the pool and he was like, let's do aerobics. And so he was standing out there and he was like, and lunge. And so I was doing like aerobics in the water. And then they came to like clean our room and like stock our mini bar and stuff like that. And so so they were like coming in and out and they were like laughing at us because like Alex was doing it and these people were walking by. But I have to tell you, I really, to be honest with you, I do not mind that that it's raining. Usually like on a trip like this where I'm like so ready to be laid out by the pool and stuff like that, I am so bummed out that it's like raining, or even if it rains for like an hour or two, I'm like so bummed out. I am just having the best time. I am so relaxed. I told Alex when I got back from the gym, we were talking and I said, I've done like everything that I wanted to do like in 24 hours. I said, we can go home now. He's like, you want to go home? I go, no, I don't want to go home, but I've done like everything that I want to do. Like I have like read, I've listened to my audiobook. Like we had a very romantic dinner and very romantic night last night. I vlogged, started the vacation vlogs, took a long nap last night. We had a wonderful dinner, slept so good last night. Got like 8 or 9 hours. I don't even know how much sleep I got last night. Went to the gym today. I've gotten in the pool, well, our little swim out pool a couple times. It's just been, I've had so much fun. Made a whole playlist on my phone so for working out. And what else did I do that I wanted to do? Unpacked my clothes, which I don't usually do. Anyway, it's just been such a nice trip already, and I just feel so relaxed and so peaceful. And so yeah, last night I sat outside after I got done vlogging. I was like uploading my vlog, and before I watched my show, I was like doing my prayers and meditations, and it's always like a really good time. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't love to hear like the God talk and stuff like that, but just as a very spiritual person, for me it's like a form of meditation to just be like, to have like conscious contact with my higher power. And I was just talking, you know, about like I was just in my head, like, you know, about gratitude and just, I don't know, I just feel so grateful in my life right now. And this has just been such a great trip so far, and we've been here like 24 hours. It's like 4:15 right now. So I'm vlogging early because it's pouring down rain, and we're gonna take a nap here in just a little bit. And so, he's like wanting to lay out there and just like listen to music and stuff. He's so relaxed. So when we checked in, they were like, okay, so you get like 2 bottles of liquor to your room like every day. And Alex like looked at me and I go, well, I don't drink. And he's like, well, there's certain kind of sodas that you like. He's like, we have Pepsi products. Again, I don't like Pepsi products. I'll drink Diet Pepsi, but I don't love it out of the can. And so I was like, well, I like fruit. Alex is like, but you love like fruit juices and stuff. So they were like bringing fruit juices and stuff to our room, but Alex is like, I'm not like, if he goes out to like a bar, he'll drink like a vodka water with lime and stuff like that, but he's not like a big like liquor drinker. He's more of like a wine and champagne drinker. So he's like, I don't need 2 bottles, but he's like, can I get champagne instead of, he's like, do people really go through 2 bottles of liquor every day? And they're like, yeah. He's like, because, so like when you finish a bottle, like you call them and they like come and they bring you like a replacement bottle of or something of anything that you want. And Alex, I said, well, it's probably just like real cheap liquor. And Alex was like, no, it's like, they have, and this doesn't mean anything to me, but I know that he like drinks like Tito's vodka. He's like, they have like Tito's on there. He's like, they have like Bacardi rum. He's like, it's, you know, he's like, they have good tequilas and stuff on there. I was like, he's like, it's not like $300 ones. He's like, but I mean, none of that means anything to me. I would not even know what to guess a drink. I mean, at a bar, I could probably guess. Well, it would depend on the city that you were in too, I guess, but I wouldn't even venture to guess what. I don't even honestly remember, like, I mean, I was a Jack Daniels drinker back in the day. And before that I drank a lot of vodka, a lot of Absolute vodka, Smirnoff. I don't even remember what a 5th cost back then. Maybe like a 5th of like Absolute was like $15. I have no clue. I honestly don't even remember. But anyway, he's like, yeah, we don't need any liquor in the room. Plus I wouldn't like, I don't just love, like, to have a bottle of wine or two around the house. Like, I don't, like, it's interesting to have that conversation. I was telling a friend of mine this the other day, because, like, when I do Q&As, I get a lot of questions from people. I was just going to tell you guys what was going on the vacation. I did not think I was going to get into all this today, but it's interesting when I get, like, Q&As from people. Who was I talking to? It was one of my sober friends. I was telling about something that's a message that somebody had sent me that was so nice, and sharing like they had been sober for a while too. But when I do Q&As, I get questions from people that be like, is it hard for you, like, that when Alex drinks around you? Or is it hard for you, I think I talked about this not too long ago, when you're like around other people that are drinking and stuff like that. And I think that people mean it from like a craving point of view. Like, if I'm around other people that are drinking, does it make me want to drink? And the interesting thing about it is that, like, I thought about this a lot lately, because it's always, like, every time I do a Q&A, I always get, like, a couple questions like that. And, it's interesting, like, I don't, like, I never, well, okay, for me, it's interesting, because, like, a craving, well, first of all, I just want to say, I gotta think this out, the way I want to say it, because I thought about this the other day. So, like, I think the perspective when people ask that question is either from the perspective of somebody that has never had an issue with alcohol at all, so they don't really understand, like, being an alcoholic, which is fine. And I listen, I welcome those questions. I love to educate people about what it's like to be an alcoholic or an addict. You know, I don't necessarily feel like, there's a lot of things in my life that I don't necessarily feel like it's my job to be the teacher about, but I think if asked in a nice way, I don't have a problem, like, educating people in my life experience to help somebody else see a different side. Like, I think we should all be doing that for each other. There's a lot of life experiences that I will never walk, and if I can ask somebody, well, what's that experience like for you, and it can help me understand something better, why would we not be having those conversations, you know? So I welcome those conversations, but it's interesting that I get those questions, because I've been sober for over 30 years, right? So, like, for me, if I'm craving having a drink, like, if I'm wanting to get drunk, like, if I called my sponsor up and I said I want to get drunk, the first question she would say is, well, what's going on with you? Because this isn't about the drink. It's not about the drink. It's about the thinking. It's about the mental aspect. It's about wanting to escape. It's about wanting to get away. It's really not about the drink, if that makes sense. Especially, like, at this point in my sobriety, you know, when I'm extremely active in a 12-step program and do inventory and whatever, it's like the idea of one is too many and 1,000 is never enough is so ingrained in me that I know that, like, me just having a drink is not going to end well at all, you know? But I think the perspective that people usually ask me from is either they don't really have a lot of knowledge when it comes to sobriety, or they don't know anybody that's sober, or they are in early sobriety themselves, so they're asking from that point of view. Because when I was in early sobriety, oh yeah, like, if I was around people that was drinking, I would totally crave. And I'm talking, like, probably, like, the first 4 to 5 years. If I was around people that were, like, heavily drinking, it would, like, get in my head. Because we define, like, alcoholism addiction as a physical craving combined with a mental obsession. So you have the physical craving, but the mental obsession of, like, I want to drink, what the drink's going to do for me, I'm going to feel numb to this, I'm going to have fun, whatever. Like, whether it's drinking, smoking weed, to excess. Because there's people that can do those things and they're not alcoholics or addicts, you know? So I think it's either from that, or I think it's from people that are early in sobriety, or they know somebody in early sobriety, or their only experience is, like, from seeing a TV show or knowing somebody from early sobriety, right? But when I think about the question of, like, a craving, what's interesting to me about that is, like, when if Tani and I talk about, like, cravings, like, do I ever think, like, a beer would sound good, or, like, you know, I'm like on vacation, if I'm, like, you know, sitting at dinner or whatever, and somebody orders, like, oh, what did somebody order on the plane? Oh, they ordered Bloody Marys. And I was like, oh my God, Bloody Mary. Like, I haven't had a Bloody Mary in so long. Just the idea of it sounds good. But, like, the tape runs through my head so quick, right? Like, sure, I could have, like, a virgin Bloody Mary. Like, that would be fine, right? But, like, it's not going to do anything for me. It's really about the idea of it. So I feel like that's not really craving. Like, when you're on a vacation, you think, like, oh, a beer on the beach would sound good, or, like, you know, I'd never, like, so I think I've shared this story before, but my dad, when he would do, like, ER stuff, like when he worked in the emergency room, he would see so many accidents in the summer with people with lawnmowers, so I was never allowed to mow the lawn when I was a kid. My Uncle Dave, Caroline's dad, actually taught me to mow the lawn, and my dad was furious. My dad was really pissed about it. Actually, it's so funny, because it's, like, one of this really fond memories that I have with my Uncle Dave, that I had such a good time doing that, but, because he was, like, talking to me about, like, the lines and the lawn and stuff like that. But my dad saw so many accidents. There were a couple things that my dad was really severe about when I was growing up. It's weird when I think back about this. I mean, whenever I meet other people that are kids of like surgeons, or specifically I think surgeons, but like I think just doctors in general, it's interesting like the attitudes that like you're raised in like a medical family. I don't know, my dad had kind of like a very casual attitude about it, but there were certain things that he would see like a lot. That he would see a lot of stuff in the emergency room. And the emergency room that my dad worked in when I was growing up was not like, it was like you saw a lot of like crazy stuff. I mean, he saw bar fights and all kinds of stuff in this ER. But one of the things, or a couple of the things that he was really pretty severe on me about, and the other thing is that my dad was, so a lot of what my dad would do in the ER, because my dad he's a plastic surgeon, or he's a retired plastic surgeon, but he was a hand reconstructionist. And so, like bar fights, it would be where like somebody took like a beer bottle and like cut open somebody's hand, or like somebody got their hand caught like in something. But that wasn't the only thing he did. He did all kinds of like emergency surgery and stuff like that, and plastic surgery. When I was in junior high is when he started doing like a lot of cosmetic surgery. But I think his entire career, my dad only probably did about 50% of cosmetic surgery. He did like, mostly when I was growing up, like it was a lot of hand reconstruction guys that like worked in factories. He would do a lot of cleft palates on people, stuff like that. But, so anyway, but a couple of things that my dad like never, like were big no-nos when I was a kid: mowing the lawn, because he would see people that would mow the lawn like in flip-flops, or like that would just like bare feet. He was like, the amount of people that mow the lawn in bare feet he was like, it's crazy. So I was never allowed to mow the lawn, number one. Number two, mopeds and motorcycles. I've never been on a motorcycle in my entire life. I still to this day, I have it like ingrained in me that I'm like totally afraid of motorcycles. So when my dad, when he was doing his medical, so my dad did his medical, he went to IU med school and then he did his residency at Northwestern in Chicago, well, Evanston. To where I was born in Chicago, at Passivant Hospital. I don't think it exists anymore, but anyway, actually I think it's part of Northwestern. But so my dad did his medical residency in Northwestern, and my mom and my dad lived in Chicago. And so before I was born, that's when my dad was doing his medical residency. That's why they lived before that he did his family practice residency in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So they lived in Grand Rapids, and my mom was an elementary school teacher. And then when they moved to Chicago and that was like 67, would have been around, I think they got married in 68. 67, 68, I think they got married. I can't remember. But anyway, that was when my mom lived, when they lived in Evanston. My mom first worked for, I was just talking about this the other day, the Hebrew school, the Beishakov is what it was called. And then she worked also at the Northwestern Library at the same time. She loved that job. My mom, that was like a job she always talked about. She wished that she could go back and work at Northwestern Library. Like, they had a lot of friends that were like through Northwestern. I remember when I was in high school, we went back for me to look at Northwestern as a university. Okay, that was never going to happen. But we went to Evanston a lot, and my dad still always loved Evanston. And I can remember, like, he took me by the apartments that they lived in. And they lived in, my mom used to call it like Rosemary's Baby, like the setup. It was 3 stories, and it was like one main building right here that had 3 apartments going up, like 1, 2, 3, and then 3 other buildings. So it was 9 apartments in this building. And they were on the top floor, and they were real small apartments. And I remember my dad looked at it. It was like, it was ridiculous. I mean, this is in 1990, and it was like $1.5 million or something like that they had turned them into condos. And my dad was like, oh my God. They had like French doors that walked out into this like little patio that overlooked like the backyard, this courtyard. My mom and dad loved that apartment. So anyway, they ended up like, when they were living there, it was like right after I was born, because like the apartment, I guess this happens to a lot of apartments in like big cities, they like had sold it. So they were renting the apartment, but then they sold it and you could buy the apartment. And I remember my mom telling the story, because she was like their whole life, my mom's whole life, my dad's still friends with them. This couple that they were friends with in Chicago, her dad sat on the Chicago Stock Exchange or whatever, and they were like real wealthy. And so to stay in the apartments, they had to like buy the apartments. It wasn't $1 million in like 72 when I was born. It was like, I don't know how much it was, but it was, I think my dad told me it was like, because 2 of the things that my dad always regretted, well, that was the first one. so that he didn't like get out a loan to buy the money. They just didn't have the money at all. My dad's like, he's like, I'm a poor medical student. I don't have the money, you know? So, but they did. This other couple did. And so, because like, I think her parents gave her the money or something like that. My mom was like, she was always jealous of it. The other thing that my dad was really upset about was when he started in Indianapolis. So my dad, when he started his practice, when they moved to Indianapolis, which was when I was 4, so that would have been in 76. My dad was working by himself. It's so funny, because I'm telling this, I remember his very first office. It was so small. But then my dad got another partner about a year or two later, and he was from England and his wife was from Canada. And it was like, he's like 10 years older than my dad. He's retired now and they live in Florida. But his wife was my mom's like best friend her entire life. And so then they had a practice together, and then they brought on, like through the years, they would have like 3 to 5 other people. My dad was always like the senior partner of the practice. He and his partner were the senior partner. So when I say my dad's partner, that had like boats and like they had a boat in Saugatuck. That was like my dad's best friend, like the whole time that we were like, my dad's fraternity partner, or fraternity brother that passed away years ago, that's from Sarasota, but also this guy was my dad's like best friend his whole life. We like traveled together and went to, went to like Michigan on weekends and stuff like that. But anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh, so I was talking about this because, so when my dad I was talking about motorcycles, because when my dad if I even mentioned a motorcycle to my dad on the phone today, like if I said, oh, we're going to go ride mopeds or motorcycles, this is the story that my dad would bring up. So when he was working at, when he was doing his residency at Northwestern, the hospital he was at was Cook County Hospital, which is like where they get all like the really like the South Side of Chicago cases and all that kind of stuff. And he would see all these motorcycle cases that were like really horrific accidents. And he told us one story about like this guy's brain, like anyway, was bad. And so I was never allowed to be on a motorcycle when I was like ever. Like my dad never wanted me on a motorcycle. And the third thing was, I will never forget this. I mean, every time, I mean, to this day, like, he would still do this. Like, if you go in a door that has, like, it's, like, all glass, like, my dad, if you even go towards the glass, he moves your hand down immediately if he's standing, like, next to you or behind you, because he saw so many hand injuries of kids and people, specifically kids, that would go press on the glass panel to open a door. This is something you guys should probably know, because I never thought about this. But you go press on the glass instead of like the door. You know, like there's a door handle, but it's a glass door, like to go into a gas station or a restaurant. He would see so many people whose hands were like severely injured for life because they would push on the glass panel and it would go through, because how the glass was fitted, or sometimes it was old and it was like had broken a little bit, and then like they would press on it and it would just be like the person at the right time would do it and their hand would go all the way through. But when their inclination is to pull it back. So my dad has explained this to me so many times. So the glass goes in your hand. Well, then what that happens is you have so many like tiny arteries and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but those were the 3 things: the lawnmower, the motorcycle or moped. I've told a lot of stories about mopeds lately, and then the glass panels on doors. Why was I talking about my dad? I don't know. But anyway, so with the drinking thing, it's interesting. Like, I was talking about that, and I was saying something else. But my dad, or like the idea of like thinking about like having a drink, like I call that, like Tanya and I will call that, and a lot of people I know in recovery will call that like romanticizing a drink. Like thinking like, you know, like when Alex will have like a glass of wine. I did love red wine back in the day. I mean, I drank wine because it was cheap and it would get me drunk quick, is why I drank wine. So like when if I see like somebody drink a glass of wine, I think, oh, that might be kind of fun to have a glass of wine or whatever, but I can have a Diet Coke just as easily, you know? So I think it's an interesting question. Like, I don't ever, like for me, a craving is like, I want to drink and I want to drink now. I can relate to cravings when it comes to food. Like if I get an idea, like if I want a cinnamon roll, like I'm gonna have a cinnamon roll. Like this is a big part of my food addiction. Like I'm gonna have a cinnamon roll, it's gonna happen. Or I'm gonna have to talk to somebody, you know, whatever. Like that's a craving to me, where it's like you can't get, that's the mental obsession where you can't get it out of your head. And then if I'm having that mental obsession, typically it's because there's something else going on with me that I just want to escape from. Or I think like a more accurate question when people like will say things to me like, after the accident, did you want to use a lot? I think those are people that I think probably, to me, just in the question, seem to understand it a little bit better, because what they're saying is, through the trauma of the accident, were you wanting to escape by drugs and alcohol? What's interesting about that is that in my life, I can't even remember really the last time that I thought like, I'm really craving just to like mentally escape and like drugs or alcohol can do it. When I first got sober, the tape in my head, like I literally would have to think it through. Like, okay, like I told a story before where I'd be like, okay, it's 4:15. If I can just make it to 5, then 5 o'clock, I can walk down to the liquor store. I can call one of my dealers, and I would call people in recovery, and I'd be like, I would just talk to anybody until I could get a hold of somebody. People were so helpful to me in early sobriety. But I literally had this tape of like, in my head that I would run through of like, if you drank, then this is going to happen. You're going to lose this. This is going to happen. You're not going to feel great. You're going to have to start over. You're going to do this. I mean, the tape was like, I would go through all these things. I had written gratitude lists that I had to carry around with me for like my first year, all this stuff, right? That I would like, these are all the things that you are going to lose if you drink or use again. This is your family's reaction. I mean, all of that was in my head. Today, it's like that quick. Like I go from like, oh, a drink sounds good to, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. It's not going to, I mean, I don't know. The other thing is this, that I didn't have in early sobriety. I felt good. Like when I left meetings, I would feel like what I think other people feel like when they leave church. It felt like I was filled with some kind of spirit or soul, and I felt renewed. But I think that like today, I'm very aware of that everything that's good in my life is a direct result of my sobriety. This is where people talk about being a grateful, recovered alcoholic or addict. People will say I'm a, grateful, they'll say recovered or recovering alcoholic or addict. And that's where that comes from, is that like being an alcoholic or an addict has given me the life that I have today. And I very much, that's something I don't talk a lot about on here. Like if you said to me, if you could go back in time and not be an alcoholic or an addict, I would 100% choose to be an alcoholic or an addict. The life that I have today, the lessons I've learned, my perception of the world is all directly related. Well, I got sober, so I can say that. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't ever make it to that point, right? But the fact that I'm here today and in a hotel room with my husband on vacation, I mean, me being on YouTube, my marriage, you know, I mean, we have a healthy relationship today. Is it the healthiest? No, not at all. I mean, like, who can claim that they have the healthiest marriage? I mean, we work on stuff, right? We actually got into a little bit of an argument on the way down here, which was kind of funny because we don't really argue over stupid stuff. And Alex just like looked at me, and I started, like, this was like after the argument kind of happened, and he looked at me and I started laughing. He goes, "What are you laughing at?" I go, "This is because we're tired." And then he looked at me, and I was like, he's either going to start laughing or he's going to say something smart ass. And he started laughing too. He goes, "I'm so tired." And I was like, this is stupid. We don't argue like this anymore. But I think like today, my attitude's a little different because everything that I have in my life today is a direct result of me being sober. I think this is also the other thing, like, it's just, I don't even really know how to explain this without going through like a list of 9 million things. It's a really cool life. I don't know, I just, you know, I would wake up every morning hungover, feeling like, when's my next fix, when's my next high, when am I gonna drink today? Like, I mean, I was really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean, at 22 and a half, I was worn out. And so, you know, I don't have any of that today. And so, I don't know, it's an amazing life. I mean, Tanya and I talk about it all the time, just like what a gift it is. Like, my mom used to always say recovery is a gift. It is such a gift that some people are never exposed to. It makes me sad. I don't know, the life that I have today would never be possible if I hadn't gone through what I went through, and I'm so, you know, being sober today. It's a completely different perspective. I think one of the things that's hard is, so, you know, I do know today, I didn't at the time that I got sober know a lot of people that were my age, because there just weren't, but today, I know quite a few people that got sober, you know, I would say like 18 to 25 was like their sobriety date. I know a lot of people that got, well, today I know a lot of people that got sober like 12 to 17, which is crazy. There are a lot of people that I know. Well, Tanya's old sponsor got sober at, I think she got sober at 15 or 16. There's a lot of people today that I'll meet, and they'll be like, they'll have like 35 years, and I'll be like, when did you get sober? And they're like, oh, I was like 17 when I got sober. So, I mean, that's cool, right? But I think the other thing is, so to me, there's a difference between like craving and romancing. Romancing is like, oh, a drink sounds nice, or seeing somebody like, oh, like that would be fun. But it's not really like to me, a craving is a mental obsession where you can't get it out of your mind. Like, I gotta go to a meeting and talk about it. I gotta call my sponsor. I gotta call other people because I gotta get it out of my head. Like, and that's not about a drink. That's about getting drunk. So if I'm seeing somebody drink a beer and that triggers me to the point, that's why what my sponsor would say, I'm trying to like think this all the way through, explain it. So for somebody out there sitting there, like, that's going through this, I'll understand. So like, if I called my sponsor and I said, I'm really wanting a beer, like I saw somebody have a beer, it looked really good. What she would say is, I mean, it's not about the beer, and she knows that, and I know that. So it's not about like Alex drinking a glass of champagne on the patio or anything like that. If that's bothering me, then it's like, if him drinking a glass of champagne is bothering me, then it's like, what else is going on? Okay, so to finish this conversation, the other part of that though is, I'm not like, to have a bottle or two of like wine in the house, that doesn't bother me. Would I want a wine cellar? It's more about, that's not what I really, like if Alex said tomorrow, like, I want to like start collecting wine, I wouldn't be against it. I'd be like, if that's what you, I mean, if we built a new house and he was like, I want to have a wine cellar, I mean, today I'd probably be like, I don't know, I'd probably be like, we don't entertain. If we entertained a lot, like if it made sense, like, you know, our basic text tells us like, we can go to places, we can go to bars, we can go where they serve alcohol, we can be places that they have alcohol. If there's no reason for us to be there, there's no reason for us not to go to those places, right? If you're gonna go to like, a lot of friends of mine like are in like bands and stuff like that, and so like 20 people that are sober will go and hear a band. Like, if there's a reason for you to go to a bar, if you're going for like a bridal shower or with your friends or whatever, and you're not craving and you're not whatever, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go to those places. Just because we're sober doesn't mean we can't live full lives. At the same time, like if we entertained, it would make sense to me to maybe have, like I have a lot of friends of mine that, I know this is so crazy to people because I think I live, I don't know, but like I have so many friends of mine that like entertain fully, and like their husband or wife will be so, like one sober, the other one's not. They'll have like a full bar in their house. I'm talking like full bar, like vodka, rum, tequila, whiskey, I mean full bar. And it doesn't really surprise me anymore today. And these, I'm telling you, these are some of the most solid people that I know in recovery too. So it's not about the alcohol, like it really isn't. You know, it's like I used to say, like, if you had a pound of marijuana on your bed, like, is that pound of marijuana bad? No, that bottle of tequila, that pound of marijuana, that pound of cocaine, it's not bad. Just sitting there by itself. It's what I choose to do with it. Like, there are people out there that can smoke a little bit of weed before they go to bed or eat a gummy or whatever, but that wouldn't be me, okay? I'm telling you right now, I probably, if I started ever using weed again or marijuana, the gummies, that to me, what was I watching? I was watching something the other day. Oh, it was the time travel movie with that Sabrina, the teenage witch girl. And she said, in 1990, she smoked, and it was so funny to me. She's like picking through this weed, and she's like, this is all like dirt and seeds and stems. I was like, that was what we smoked back in the day. And she says to this girl, who doesn't know, she's like a time traveler. And she's like, I could give you a gummy that would get you so much higher than any of this kind of stuff. And I thought, that's so funny. Like, the gummy thing is real interesting to me. That's why I just have to completely stay away from it. Because I could probably be somebody that... See, I wouldn't just eat like a half a gummy before I went to bed though. I'd be like getting up, eating a gummy at lunch. I'd be gummied out. That's why, and I know that about myself, right? But like, even the gummies aren't bad. It's what you do with them. And as an addict, I'm somebody that's going to use to excess. So it's about me and what I have to do for me. Does that make sense? And different people have to do different things. I mean, I know people that are 30 years sober that have full bars in their house and go out all the time and are around people that drink all the time. I know people that are 30 years sober that have never been in a bar since they've got sober. And that's what they choose to do. And it has to be for you. So like the bottle of champagne doesn't bother me. But would I want like 4 bottles of tequila in the room? I wasn't even a tequila drinker. If we had like 4 bottles of Jack Daniels sitting in the room, no, I wouldn't want that. He's not a whiskey drinker anyway. But like just to look at, I'd be like... I do remember my ex and I went to the Dominican Republic. We stayed at this really cool resort. I can't remember what it's called. But we got like a discount on some huge suite. It was like a 3-bedroom suite. I don't even remember. We got some huge deal on it. And it had like a pool outside on the patio and stuff. And we walked in. And I remember we walked in. And at the time probably would have been... Well, I got sober in 94. This would have been about 2003. So what about 10 years sober? We walked in, and I remember like right as we were walking in the door to the left, there was like a full bar, and it was like, and on the counter they had like huge, like bigger than a fifth, like a quart of like vodka, tequila. It was like cheap, but I was like, I remember I said, can you just call them and have them take that out of here? It's not like that being there was going to make me want to drink, but I was like, I just don't need it. It's unnecessary to have here for me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I know people are interested in like the sobriety thing, but so the camera stopped. I guess I was at the 30-minute mark. The VPN situation is fixed. Thank God the VPN situation is fixed. Alex is so happy about it. It was so funny because I got a comment on, first of all, you guys are so sweet. Like, I posted pictures of me going to the gym today, and I literally, I posted my clothes laying on the bed that I was changing into, and then I went to the gym. And when I came back, I was like uploading pictures. Like, I did like a video of me walking the treadmill and took a picture at the gym. And I was like posting it onto my Instagram, and I went into my messages, and like from the time that I went to the gym, which was like an hour and a half, I gotten like 30 or 40 DMs from people, and people were like, I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, I'm so, because I put on this thing, I put my clothes, and I said, I think this is like something like going to the gym. This is like the first time ever on vacation. I think this might be, well, 20 years ago, with my first boyfriend and I, he worked out a lot, and like every day at the gym. And I ran a lot, and I can remember going to Cancun. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton with my dad and my stepmom, and I can remember running down the street in Cancun. I was like really into running back then. But I'm sure I've gone to a gym on vacation, but like with Alex, I don't remember going to a gym and like bringing gym clothes to work out and stuff like that. I brought him, and when I brought him, I was like, I brought my shoes and everything, and I was like, there is no, oh, by the way, the shoes, because I just looked them up for somebody that like reached out to me, and they're like, they're sitting right over there on the floor, because they're like, oh, I love those shoes. They're called Nike Free, and I don't think they make them anymore, but they make something similar. So if you look up like Nike Free, Alex bought them for me in like 2018 or something. But anyway, and there's a fan behind me. I'll look it up before I get off here. I think it's called like High Point or something, this fan. Do you see it behind me? Should we just look right now? It's right there, see? That's the fan that I brought. Other than the blue fan, it works much better. So anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. Oh, but people are like, people are so supportive of like the walking and the working. I am very proud of myself, I will say that. I mean, if it's like sunny outside and whatever, we're going to the pool, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna be like in the gym. I might try to get up earlier those days and go to the gym for an hour before we go to the pool. Not every day, but like maybe every other day. But I am very proud of myself that I went. Because when I brought the clothes and the shoes, I thought, well, these will get no use on this trip. I'm not gonna work out. And then I went today. It's been pouring all day, and so we were sitting around here, and Alex, because the VPN is fixed, so Alex was going to catch up on Love Island, and so I was like, well, what's the point? Me just sitting here while he's watching the show, which, by the way, it was so funny because so many people were related, oh my God, to Caroline and the appliance thing on the counter. But I got like one comment from somebody, and somebody said something like, God forbid, like, Alex, like, not watch Love Island on his vacation. Like, maybe, like, he could spend time with you or something like that. I don't know what you do on vacation, but if you and your partner or you and your friend or whatever just staring into each other's eyes for 24 hours a day, but, like, there's a lot of downtime on vacation. And I watch a lot of TV on vacation, listen to audiobooks. If Alex wants to catch up on Love Island, this is his vacation, too. He can do exactly what he wants to do. I don't know what other people do on vacations, but we don't just stare at each other into each other's eyes. I thought it was kind of a funny comment, but anyway. I mean, I appreciate the support, but after 17 years, if my husband wants to watch one TV show a night on vacation, I think that's totally fine. I know husbands actually that on vacation, they're like, friends of mine will complain to me and they'll be like, well, I'll be like, did you guys have a good time? And they'll be like, no, because he was in the bar the entire time watching all these oh, the Pacer game, like all the Pacer games that were just on. They'll be like, they had like every night, we had to go find a bar so they could sit and watch a Pacer game. So. Did you hear that? It's like pouring down rain. So last night, after I got done vlogging, we'll do a little, like, I'm not going to probably vlog. I don't even know where I'm at on this thing now. But anyway, well, it stopped a couple minutes, so at least 30 minutes. But last night, after I got done vlogging, I came inside and I uploaded. Alex was still up. And I was like, I thought you were going to bed. He was like, I am, but you have all the lights on and stuff like that. I said, well, you could have turned the lights off. He's like, well, I thought you needed them. And I was like, oh, I did, to film the vlog. So when I got done with the vlog, I turned off the lights, and then he was like, I can't sleep. So he was like rolling through TikToks and stuff like that. Today, he fixed the VPN thing this morning. A friend of his explained it to him, so he got it all fixed, thank God. I don't really use it that much anyway, but anyway, I downloaded 9 million shows. So when I got done with that, talked on the phone a little bit, and then, but not really that long, probably like 20 minutes. Just catching up with people and just letting them know that we're good and all that kind of stuff. And then I finished watching, what's the show that on Apple, The Fountain of Youth. It is really, really good, you guys. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised it's not getting more attention. I mean, it reminds me, first of all, I said this to Alex today, I said it to Nikki last night, I was like, it reminds me of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Silence. I'm like, to both of them, I was like, you don't know what Raiders of the Lost Ark is? No, I have no idea. How does my husband and Nikki not know what Raiders of the Lost Ark is? So then I have to explain the whole concept. But anyway, it's about this guy. It's very funny. I wanted to say today, I was gonna I put it on my TV thing. It very much feels like a family movie, but there is a lot of violence as far as like shooting and stuff like that. Because it's kind of like these people are on the run, they're being chased, all this kind of stuff. They're like being shot after and whatever. But it's not like super violent. It's about this guy, and he and his dad, I think I talked about this last night, but he and his dad and his sister used to look up like things that were lost. They keep on referring to things that are lost and trying to find them. And so they're looking for the Fountain of Youth, but they have to like find all these art pieces first that like connect the clues to the Fountain of Youth, and then they have to go. I will tell you, like the last half an hour, the special effects are on the level of like a high-end budget movie that I would have seen growing up. Like, I thought the special effects were great. I thought the movie was good. It must be, like, they must be trying to turn it into, like, a series, because at the very end, the sister says something to him about, this won't ruin it, but she says something, and she's like, let's go find more things that are lost, or something like that. So, it's a cute movie. So I watched that, and then I started watching, I downloaded Echo Valley with Julianne Moore. I love her so much. I actually looked her up last night, and she is 64, she'll be 65. There's a part in the movie where she's dancing, and it's to that Robin song, Dancing by Myself, which I love anyway. My mom always danced. This part, she reminds me so much of my mom. I was like, Julianne Moore reminds me of my mom, but she's the exact same age as my mom was when she passed away. She looks fantastic. I love Julianne Moore. But it's with Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria. And so Julianne Moore has left her husband because, when it starts, this is how it starts. She's left her husband because she's a lesbian, and then she gets with this other woman, and she has a horse farm that she runs to like teach lessons and stuff for horse running. But then her partner has passed away. You don't know why. And then her daughter, Sydney Sweeney, is a drug addict, like a severe drug addict. And I mean, there is this one scene, I got halfway through it last night. It's really, really a hard watch. I thought it was like a thriller. It doesn't really feel like that to me. There's this one scene, if you have ever seen the movie, oh god, what's it called, with Leonardo DiCaprio? About Jim Carroll, the writer and drug addict, where he's banging on the door of his like mom's house, like, or trying to get her to give him. There's like a scene like that where Sydney Sweeney is literally like, she's like screaming at her mom to write her a check to give her money because she needs money for groceries and stuff like that, but it's really for drugs. And then she tells her boyfriend, she's like, put her mom's dog, the family dog, in the car, and she says to her mom, like through gritted teeth, she's like, I'm taking the dog out so far that it will never find its way back. And the dog is like cowering in the corner, and she's like, I'm taking this dog so far out into the middle of nowhere that it will never find its way back home, and you won't know where it's at. And that's when the mom comes out the door, and like she just holds onto this dog. It is like such a hard watch. I don't really know if I like it yet or not. It's definitely not a movie I would pick for a vacation. It's very, very dark. It's a lot about addiction. But the drug dealer in Echo Valley, Tanya watched it. She said it was, she goes, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, Sydney Sweeney, like, her acting is like, as a drug addict in this movie, is unbelievable. It is so good. But the guy that plays the drug dealer is also the guy that plays the billionaire. And I'm like Google searching the cast, because like, it looks just like the exact same guy. He also plays the billionaire in Fountain of Youth. So I got like halfway through that. Here's the problem I forgot, and this is why I am vlogging early today. So to airdrop it from the computer to my phone takes like an hour, okay? So to upload it to my phone would take like forever. To upload the vlog on my computer takes 3 hours. So when I started it last night, I had to start like doing all that. So it took 3 hours to upload the vlog last night. That was like over an hour long. So I didn't get it up till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So one of the reasons why I'm vlogging now is that it can just be uploading while we're like at dinner and taking naps and stuff like that. And then I can post it tonight. But, so yeah, so I watched that. What else did I do? Oh, I listened to my audiobook last night. The Ghostwriter by Julie something. My phone's plugged in over there. I would look it up. I can't remember. But Julie, what's her last name? I really like that book. It's really, really good. So I listened to that a little bit, and then I watched, well, I finished, I had half of Fountain of Youth left. So I had like 45 minutes of it left, and then after that I watched Echo Valley, and I got like halfway through that, which was like an hour. And then at that point was when I listened to my audiobook, and I was just waiting for the vlog to get done. As soon as the vlog was done, I came inside and I went to bed. And I slept so good. And then this morning we slept in. Alex got up earlier than I did. I can't remember what time, and he like went to the windows. I honestly thought, I was like, oh, it was supposed to rain today, but it won't rain. It'll be like really nice outside, and we'll go to the pool and whatever. And he like pulled open the drapes. I was like half asleep. And I said, how is it out? And he goes, it's pouring down rain. It's really cloudy and dark. And I said, I'm going back to bed. He goes, okay. At some point, he went to the coffee shop and got some stuff. He's like, do you want anything? I was like, no, I'm good. And so I really had no plans to go to the gym today. Like when we got up, we were just doing stuff around here. He was trying to fix the VPN. And this is the thing. Like whenever people go on vacation, I feel like I know so many people that are like, we don't really care about the motel room or the hotel room because you don't spend that much time in a hotel room that much. I love to spend time in a hotel room. I could live the rest of my life in a hotel room. I absolutely love it. And so yeah. So what else happened? Oh, talking to Laura earlier today because, a couple people asked about this, like, somebody asked, I think it was not on this channel, I think it was on my Peter Dustuff channel, they said something about the bird feeders. Laura's taking care of the bird feeders while I'm gone. It's generously offered to take care of the bird feeders, and all that kind of stuff. And so she's taking care of all that, doing all that, and whatever needs to be done with it. And I like, so it was supposed to be, like, we were having some rain and stuff like that, so I, like, was moving, I was going to move into the garage, anyway. So she was like, if you need me to film and do all that kind of stuff. So she's watching the house and doing all that kind of stuff for us, and so I appreciate all that, and, like, the painting and everything is done. But, yeah. Somebody from the neighborhood, well, we're in the whole coalition of disgruntled residents in our neighborhood, so the texting goes on all day long with the neighborhood. So even though we're away, we still find out what's going on with the neighborhood, but everything's good. That's one of the things about having the neighbors that I have, like, she's watering the ferns too. Like, I told her, I said, the ferns don't, like, well, first of all, Laura knows so much about plants. And I told her, I said, she's like, do you want me to water them like every day? I said, you do not need to water them every day. Ferns don't need a lot of water. Oh my God, my neighbor on the other side, the World Traveler, I did not know this. So she has like this kiddie pool. And I thought it was for her grandkids because she had it like on her front walkway. But then I walked by, it was when Laura and I went to the pool the other day. She had all of her plants in it. And I said, why does she have all of her plants? I knew it was like something to do with watering from the bottom because with my ferns last year, I think it was Valerie that told me to get the Home Depot buckets. She'd seen some like Instagram reel or TikTok about it, where if you water your plants from the bottom, like they do better or whatever. But then I looked online, and to buy like one of those Home Depot buckets is like $25, $20 or $25. I was like, and at that point I had like 6 or 8 plants. So anyway, Laura was telling me about like the whole theory about watering plants from the bottom and how it's so much better for the plants and then they don't get like overwatered or something like that. She was explaining the whole thing to me. But anyway, she said, do you want me to water them every day? She's like, different ferns are different, like inside and outside and whatever. I said, they don't need to be watered every day. Ferns don't like to be overwatered, and they definitely don't like to be in the sunlight. They like to be in the shade. They do much better in the shade. So yeah, Laura's taking care of everything. We take care of her stuff when she's gone too and whatever. And so yeah, it's nice to have neighbors. That's one of the reasons why I just love, you know, being in the neighborhood, to have the neighbors taking care of stuff and whatever. So yeah, I don't know what time it was. Alex was watching Love Island, and I said, how many episodes do you have to catch up on? He was like, I think he said 2, maybe something else he was going to watch. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm thinking about going to the gym. He was like, are you really? And I was like, yeah. He brought his workout clothes too. And I said, he goes, do you care if I don't go? And I was like, no, babe, not at all. And I was like, so yesterday I walked up. Oh, no. So this is what I did. So earlier today, so Alex had gone to the coffee shop. So I got up and I threw on some clothes and I went to the coffee shop, and I kind of wanted to see what people were doing because, I mean, it's pouring down, right? Nobody's at the pools. And it's pretty busy here. And so I walked up there. There's 2 weddings. There's a wedding on my birthday. I actually think it's 2 gay guys getting married. And their like whole family is out there. They have like a whole table that's like checking in. The reason why I think it's two gay guys is because I think, well, two guys, is because they're very, like, the names seem like it's two guys. Anyway, but they're getting married on my birthday. I could be completely wrong with that. They could be androgynous names. I don't know, but I don't think so. I mean, anyway, I was gonna say like Stevie, but like, or Steve is not, and I was like Stevie Nicks, I guess. But so they could be. I could be completely wrong, but so they have like a check-in table. I've never seen this like here before, or at actually any resort when they're having a wedding. But it's like 3 family members are sitting at this table. So when anybody like shows up, like they give this huge bag and stuff like that. I told Alex, I said, I should go down there and be like, because I want to know what they have in the bag. It's like these really cool bags that they, okay, it's the Kathy Hilton bag, if you know what I'm talking about. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So the Kathy Hilton bags are like canvas, and then it's like have like around the edge, they have like, I know somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. They have like the banner, it's like pink or like mint green or something, and then it'll say like your initials. Like mine would say Pam, because it's Peter Alexander Monn. But it would say like Pam on it, you know? And so, like Alex's would be like AJP, because his middle name is Jose. Josie Grossi is what I used to say to him. Do you remember Josie Grossi from Never Been Kissed? In case you didn't know, Alex's middle name is Jose. So anyway, so, but like you get it on there. So they're giving those away to everybody. And like inside of it, there's all this stuff that they have in these bags. So when like you check in, like we're here for the wedding, not to the reservation, like the hotel, like that's a different thing. This is like, you're here for you let them know you're here for the wedding, right? And when you check in, they're getting married on the 29th. They're getting married on Sunday, my birthday. So when you check in, you get this huge bag and like an itinerary. They have like all these, like, they're really, like I walked by it like 3 times because I wanted to see what was going on because I was being nosy. And does anybody else do that kind of stuff? So anyway, but they were all being like really nice, everybody that was coming up and stuff. And they were like, so when I walked by the last time, they were asking this like gal, they were like, so like, are you, which family are you here for or whatever? And she said something. And then she said, well, I'm the +1. And they're like, oh, and they're like, okay. And so I told Alex, I said, I'm gonna go up there and just say, well, I'm the +1 and I was sent down here to get the bag. I would never, I'm joking, I would never do that. But I so just wanted the bag, and I also wanted to know, well, I mean, are there snacks in there? Like, I love snacks. We have a whole basket of snacks over there on top of our, we got peanuts and chips and all kinds of, oh my God, the Snicker bar sounding. So y'all know how I love the chocolate donuts that they have. I'm so pissed about this. In the coffee shop, they have the big chocolate. Nikki knows about this because her mom, if Nikki's mom is watching this, she knows. Because Nikki's like, my mom is obsessed with those chocolate donuts, so you take pictures of. So these big like cake donuts, okay, that are like literally dipped in chocolate. They're fantastic. Well, the last time we were here, they had a variation of that. It was like milk chocolate with like cashew or like pecan slices or something. But anyway, it was like a variation on it. They didn't have the chocolate donuts. Now, they don't have either. They don't have the chocolate donuts. My husband's coming inside, hold on. They don't have, what are you doing? They don't have the chocolate donuts, and they don't have, I'm gonna let him come inside for a second and go to the bathroom, and then I will, I'm gonna look at the fan and see what that is, and then when he goes back outside, I will finish this vlog. But they don't have the chocolate donuts, they don't have the milk chocolate donuts. I'm devastated, but they do have some new stuff. They have different kinds of croissants. I'll be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. Speaking of snacks, he just grabbed some chips up there. Whenever we have like the snacks in the room, there's like things I know he loves, and there's things, he loves the, hold on just a second, I'll be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. So I walked so hard at the gym. I put the incline up and I was just like walking so hard. I'll talk about the gym in just a second. That like when I got up off this bed to go to the door, like my legs were like, ooh, like jelly. They were asking us if we wanted turn down service. I told you some people go to bed here, or go to dinner here really, really early. I was like, no. He was like, well, what time is your dinner reservations? And I was like, 8 o'clock. And he was like, okay. He was like, well, we'll come back after you're gone for turn down service. So this British couple that we met here a couple years ago, I think they live in Manchester. Anyway, we met them, and we've been like friends with them ever since. So when we met them here, she was like, I'll never forget her. Okay, first of all, this woman is so hilarious and so cool. And they're like a couple years younger than me. They're like in between like Alex and I. And so we love them so much. We like talk to them all the time. We're actually like, and thinking about a European trip, we're thinking about like meeting up with them because they like do like a big trip every year. So when they were here, this was their big trip. Like they went to Tulum, and they stayed like in Tulum for a couple days, and they came here, and then they went somewhere after this. Or did they go to Tulum afterwards? I don't remember. But anyway, they were like in Mexico for like 3 weeks. And so anyway, we've been friends with them ever since, but I'll never forget, like, we were up there at the outside bar. That's how we met them. And she was like, have you had the turn down service? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, the turn down service. She's like, I've never had that at a hotel before. I was like, you've never had a turn down service at a hotel before? She's like, no. She's like, I love it. She's like, they put chocolates on both of your pillows. And her husband started laughing. He's like, I have to give her my chocolates every night. She's like, of course you do. They're for me. And so she's like, they put the robe on your bed. And she's like, and then they put the slippers next to the bed. She's like, I want somebody to do this at my house every single night. I do love the turn down service. So when you come back to the room, like after dinner, they've turned down the bed, right? And then they have it real low lit in here. And then they have like 2 bottles of water with glasses next to your thing. And then they have chocolates on your bed. And then do they have it right here? Yeah, this is the one from this morning. We didn't do this morning. But you can order, here's like the breakfast menu that you can order. And then you can put this on your door and they bring it in. But anyway, and then they put like a robe next to your bed. And then they put like little slippers down, because there's slippers in the room. They put them like right next to the bed and stuff like that. It's real nice. So we'll be getting our turn down service later, hopefully. But anyway, oh, here's the fan, by the way. So this is the new fan, because a couple people asked me about the fan brand. It is called Home Point. The one that our friend had, maybe it wasn't the exact brand. Maybe I couldn't find it. But anyway, I think I got it on Amazon like years ago. She had like one like this. It was a little smaller, I think. And it was like this minty green color. It was really cool. So I was like, there's no way that I can pack this. So my carry-on, I bring a backpack that I put underneath the seat. But like above the thing, I have like a suitcase carry-on. It's, you know, like just one of those roller carry-ons. So in one half of it, I put like my computer, my tripod, well, in my computer bag. I put my computer, my tripod, all that kind of stuff. And then I put like books on that side that like seals up. On the other side, I put a pair of shoes and I put this. So this actually, do you see like, I don't know if you can see, but this like, what I love about it is the blue one will not, so this one aims up. So I can have it on the floor and then it aims up at us. And on the back, it has 3 things that rotate. This actually fits in the bag. If you can see, it fits really well. It fits better than the blue one that I had before. So yeah, it fits fantastically. I don't know, this was probably like, I don't know how much it was, $20 or something like that. Home Point, Homepointe, Home Point. I'm not reading glasses, but I love it. So yeah, I went and I got coffee earlier, and then I came back. Oh, and that's why I went and looked at the gym. And I was like, I'd never been to the gym here before, and so I was like, I kind of want to like check it out. I thought there'd be like 30 people in there because it was pouring down rain. There was like nobody in the gym when I went and looked at it. And the guy was like really, really nice. And I was like, do I need anything? He's like, no, you just come, you know, work out, whatever. And so I was like, okay. And so it's like right next to the spa. Like if you walk into the spa, it's like the spa's directly. And it's like once you're in the spa, it's to the right. And so I came back to the room and I was like, Alex was getting ready to watch Love Island. And I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. So I changed and put on my clothes and I walked over there. And when I got there, the gym is bigger than I thought it was. They have like 6 treadmills. And they're the Peloton treadmills that have like the screens and stuff on them where you can like, this guy next to me was walking in Central Park. I didn't do all that. Tomorrow if I go, it's supposed to pour down rain all day tomorrow, and then it's supposed to get nicer on Sunday. So, tomorrow's Saturday, yeah. Sunday will probably be the first day that we go to the pool, but tomorrow will probably be another day like this, which I'll be honest with you, I do not mind. I'm gonna read, it's just so nice just to do nothing and hang out with Alex. It's been so nice. So, I went in there, and the guy that works in there is like, well, there's 2 guys, but like they kind of like rotated. Was super nice. So you go and check out the desk, and they give you like a towel, like a little towel, and they give you like a bottle of water. And then they have like Gatorade in there, and they have like protein like drinks and stuff that, they just like give you if you want them. And then they have like one of those big like spa water things, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like a tap on it, and they have like ice, and they have like cucumbers and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, you can have that water, you can have this, blah, 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 whatever. So to the right, when you walk in, there's all these windows in there. It's a beautiful gym. There's like 6 treadmills, or like the Peloton treadmills, and then there's like 4 elliptical machines. And then on the other side, there's like bikes. So when you're walking, you're looking out the window into like this jungle area. And then at the other end, in the middle, there's like all these machines. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. It's all like it's like current like machine kind of stuff. And then in the corner, they have all these huge mirrors, and they have like free weights and stuff. So I did my free weight stuff because the electricity went out twice because of the storms. So the electricity went off, I went over and I did, like in between it, I did my weightlifting. It's not much, but I did like my little weightlifting routine. Then around the corner, there's this room that is 3 sides. It's like 15 feet high, 3 sides, and it is floor to ceiling windows. And it overlooks like this jungle area, and they have a spa pool. And then in the corner, it's pretty big. Bigger than this room, but in the corner, they have like a TV where you can like turn it on. You can do like watch yoga and Pilates and just do it in this room. Or you can they teach classes in there sometimes and stuff. And then they have a ton of like weight machines and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. So when I was there, I was the first guy in there. And this guy next to me, he was probably a couple years older than me. He was like walking on the treadmill next to me. Neither one of us was doing one of the things. And this other guy came in and he was walking next to me, and we got laughing because he's like, the electricity went off, and I looked at him, I go, this is the second time, and he goes, how are we gonna get our walk in? He goes, I was halfway through Central Park. He started laughing because he was doing this. I was like, so cool. It was the coolest. I've never done one of those before. So I will say this, I think the treadmill, I probably get a better workout on treadmill because as far as like the incline and stuff, like I kept the incline up the whole time, the pacing, depending on the song that I was listening to. So I made this playlist. I kept on adding to it of all my walking music. I think I shared this with you guys before, but it's called Runway, like runway walking kind of music. But anyway, this guy and I were talking, and then the other guy kind of started talking to us too. How are 3 guys all, like we were all like over 50, just the 3 of us working out in the gym on the treadmill. It was kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, it was nice. It was super nice. And yeah, and then I came back, and Alex was on the patio, and he was like, the pool's, it's like really nice, even though it's raining and whatever, so I got in the pool. And I was in the pool for probably, I don't know, a little while, and then I got out when they were doing stuff in here when they were done in here, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna vlog and get my vlog done so that I'll have it uploaded and stuff. So tonight, I'm gonna finish, when we get back from dinner, I'm gonna finish Echo Valley while he's watching, what do you call it, Love Island. And then, I don't know what other show I'm going to watch tonight. I might read tonight instead of watching a show. I've got Friends and Neighbors. Has anybody watched this show? It's called like Pulse or something like that. It's like another medical drama show. I'm playing with this little like metal. So they put your stationery and your pens and pencils and everything on here, and then they put it at the end of the bed. You're sitting on like this little like chest where you can put all your stuff in there. But anyway, yeah, and I unpacked most of my stuff. Not all of it, but like the major stuff. So we're having such a great trip. It's been so nice, and it's just really, really relaxing. So, yep, another day, another vacation vlog down. Did y'all miss me yet on the front porch? You know, I was talking, and it was interesting because a couple people, somebody left a real long comment, and they're like, Peter, I don't know how they said it, but they said, I am totally like you. And then they said something about, in fact, they were like, I kind of have like a memory of like wanting to cancel a trip. Like Google searching like how many hours you can cancel a trip before you lose your money and stuff like that. It's interesting. I've never gone on those links before, but I do like the day before. I get real anxious. I'm almost kind of like, I don't want to go. And then it takes me a while. So thank you for understanding that, because those are kind of like some things I share sometimes where I think like people are going to think I'm real strange or whatever. And just the fact that you guys, like some of you related to that, I really appreciate it. It normalized it for me. But once I get on vacation, whenever I get, I mean, now I'm just like, I don't want to leave. Like I'm just, you know, so I'm loving being on vacation, and it's just so relaxing, and yeah, it's been really nice. So, all right, well, I'm going to get off here now, and I'm going to start getting this rendered and then uploaded, and then this should be up on time. It shouldn't be 3 o'clock in the morning. I should be able to, well, I mean, I don't know what time it is now, but because Alex took the clock radio out there that has a speaker on it, that's how he's like playing music on the patio. I said, could you keep that clock on your side of the, well, there's like I don't know if you can see, but there's like an iPad thing over there in the corner that like, where you do your room service, reservations, everything. I love it. So I was like, can you keep the clock radio over there since you want the speaker? I go, that way it'll free up. I don't need to know what time it is. I don't need to know. I said, and it'll free up what do you call it, a plug-in over there so I could have, so I said, so I can charge my phone and have a fan on at the same time. So anyway, thank you guys so much. You guys, all the comments, I mean, I've read all the comments on my videos were just so nice. Oh, I'm so glad you're on vacation. And I don't know, I love bringing you guys along for the ride, and it's always so much fun to do the vacation vlogs and let you guys know what's going on and stuff like that, and I just appreciate all the support. And I love you guys so much. I hope that you're having a magically amazing Friday and a fantastic beginning to your weekend. I hope if you have to work that you get to spend a little bit of time with your loved ones this weekend or by yourself just relaxing. And if you don't, then I hope you enjoy the weekend. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section below. So put down there all that you're doing this. Are you doing gardening? Are you going to a barbecue? Or are you going on vacation? Oh, somebody I put on my Instagram, it's somebody that watches this. Who is, I think it's Kristen. So that she was on the elliptical while she was watching me post my Instagram. Maybe it was Kristen, I don't remember. But thank you guys so much for being encouraging about the working out and stuff like that. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's like, it's a huge deal for me that on vacation, I'm like, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be every day. It's probably won't be the whole trip. But the fact that I even did it one time, like, is a huge, like, for me, that's like, okay, you're improving. You're making improvements, you know? And I'm trying really hard. So, thank you guys for all the support. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!